This EMS training package is going to be reviewing the public safety communication systems, which will be replacing our current fleet radio system. We'll be doing an overview of the new system, reviewing the portable and mobile radios, reviewing the zones and channels now available in the new PSCS system. We'll be reviewing what will happen with the changeover and a few radio communication reminders at the end. This is a coverage prediction map for the new Public Safety Communication System, or PSCS. As you can see, it will cover 33% of the land area, 99% of the population covered throughout 151 fixed tower sites. Most highways are covered, and the PSCS includes the dispatch facilities with connected dispatch consoles. So green indicates the delivered audio quality, or DAQ, for portable radios. The yellow indicates the DAQ for mobile radios. And the uncolored areas, it doesn't mean that there's no coverage, it's just not assured coverage. We will now watch a video from the Office of Fire Commissioner reviewing how the repeaters will work with the new PSCS.
A repeater is a device that acts as a link. A repeater is a device that acts as a link between two radios to cover a much larger area. Acting as both a radio receiver and transmitter, it works by receiving a frequency from, well, in this case, a portable radio, and retransmitting it at a much higher power, enabling the initial signal to cover a much larger distance. Usually, whether it be portable to portable, mobile to mobile, or even portable to mobile, there's always going to be that distance restriction. Repeaters allow that distance to be maximized as long as both the broadcaster and the radio are in range of the repeater. In terms of range, two portable VHF radios initially will only be able to reach 0.4 kilometers to 8 kilometers. But with the use of the repeater, they can reach as far as 32 kilometers. Here is a more scenario-based example of this. We have two people, person A over here, and person B over here, trying to communicate with each other. Unfortunately, person A is about 30 kilometers away from person B, meaning that with just a portable to portable radio, they will not actually be able to communicate with each other. This is where the repeater comes into play. See, person A is only about 4 kilometers away from the repeater, meaning that when he broadcasts, his signal can get picked up by the tower and pushed all the way to person B, allowing them to communicate with each other. Keep in mind, this will only work if both broadcasters and radios are inside the repeater's area.
We'll now watch a video explaining the repeaters and how they work with terrain.
The terrain is extremely important when communicating with other radios/bases. The shape of the land, large buildings, and even a person's body can shield the signal from going through. To give a brief example of this, we'll be looking at a scenario drawn on this whiteboard. So if we have 3 base stations, A, B, and C, on an uneven landscape, Tower A will not be able to reach Tower C, as well as C will not be able to reach A. The solution to this was putting together a tower and another spot that could successfully link and reach these 2 towers. That would be Tower B. This scenario supports the awareness of obstructions and knowing if you have a good clear path to your desired location when communicating with others over the radio.
So trunking allows for repeaters to be shared between agencies as required. Each radio, regardless of which agency it belongs to, will send information to a controlled repeater located at the tower site that is currently providing the strongest signal. Information sent will be the radio ID in the talk group the radio is currently on. The control repeater, much like a traffic cop directing traffic, directs an incoming transmission to an idle repeater for broadcasting. As illustrated, this tower site has 3 voice repeaters, but they are shared between 4 different agencies. No single agency owns a repeater. A tower site may have 5 to 28 voice repeaters, depending on the estimated combined demands of the various user agencies. The number of towers is determined by the local topography and the total number of repeaters required to service the various user agencies. The greater the population or traffic being served, the more repeaters required. As stated before, system repeater resources will be shared by all user agencies. On a busy site, an agency is assigned a repeater resource as soon as it is available on the system. In the busy queue, a waiting radio will receive a fast, busy signal. This shows the advantage of using a shared talk group while at an incident. In this scenario, there are 5 agencies sharing 3 repeaters, with 3 of those agencies working at the same incident. These agencies are currently using 3 repeaters to communicate with their respective dispatchers. As a result, there's less opportunity for highways and other agencies to use their radios for communication. This is showing the same agencies at the same incident, but with conservation, EMS, and RCMP using the same shared talk group. Their communications are direct, resulting in more accuracy of information, fewer human resources being used as no dispatchers are required, and fewer radio transmissions managing the incident. It also allows other agencies to use the free repeaters. By following the yellow line representing the digital signal and the red line representing the analog signal, you can see the digital signal quality remains good for a farther distance from the tower site than that of the analog. You can also see the digital signal drops off quickly while the analog signal has a more steady decline in quality. This is an overview of all the functions and options available for the portable radio, which we will be reviewing in more detail. Our emergency alert, channel select, volume control, as well as our power on and off, request to talk, push to talk, call, site search and signal strength, menu navigation, home, function menu list, function select buttons, and the microphone. Here are the side and top views of the portable radio with functions and options. Our request to talk or RTT, push to talk or PTT, call, site search and signal strength, display, emergency alert, channel select, volume control, power on and off, and just note that the ABC slide and toggle switch is not programmable in this version. Let's review the mobile radio functions. The power on and off, just note that the radio automatically turns on or off with the ignition switch. Press the power button to turn the radio off or on while ignition is on. Our zone change, emergency alert, volume control and channel select, screen display and backlight control, home, function menu items, and function select buttons. The mobile microphone functions are similar to what's available on the portable radio. Our PTT or push to talk, RTT or request to talk, notice how it is purple as well. Our call button, site search and signal strength, and the dual tone multiple frequency or DTMF keypad. There are a variety of icons that consistently appear on your radio's display screen no matter what channel you are on. All of these are displayed on both the portable and mobile radios. These icons are time, which displays the current time on the radio, signal strength, which lets you know how strong the current site is, secure operation. This icon is displayed if you are in an AES secure operation. If it is blinking, you are receiving an encrypted voice call. High power, this icon just means that the radio is set to high power. The location feature, if this icon is displayed, it means that GPS is enabled. When blinking, this means that GPS is enabled, but the location signal is unavailable. The Bluetooth icon If displayed on the home screen, it is letting you know that Bluetooth is ready. Battery icon. It will blink when the battery is low. And finally, the radio association icon. If displayed, the user is currently associated with the radio system. If blinking, the user or device registration to the server failed due to an invalid username or PIN. We will now review the changing of zones and channels on both the portable and mobile radios. It is very similar to the current procedure. The first function available in the function menu is Zone. The zone displays all the zones or channel banks included in the radio. In order to navigate between them for the portable, you're going to use the navigation keys to search through the different zones to choose from. Once you're over the desired zone, click Select. Then use the Channel Select knob to the desired channel within the zone. For the mobile radio, press the Zone menu, then the up and down rocker switch. Press the Volume Control or Channel Select knob, and then rotate the Channel Select knob until you reach the desired channel within that zone. The following functions are the same for both the portable and mobile radios. The following pictures will only be of the portable radios, but we will highlight any differences with the mobile. After Zone, Rekey is the next function in the function menu. It requests a refresh of the encryption key from the server. This shouldn't be a frequent function, but if you need to reactivate a portable radio or need a new encryption key, select Rekey. It is important that all new radios refresh their encryption key once they have been obtained. Once the radios have initially been set up, you will be notified in the future if you need to rekey the radios. A radio will also have to be rekeyed if it has been turned off for a longer period of time. Bluetooth allows pairing with a Motorola Bluetooth accessory. Scan allows up to 50 channels to be included in the scan list. You must create a scan list before you can scan any radio channels. To edit this list, you select Scan List. We will now watch an OFC video describing the scan and scan list functions.
The scan and scan list function coincide with each other to operate. Turning scan mode on will allow you to hear messages from other talk groups that are on your scan list. To turn on scan mode, you will just click the menu functions button under scan. You will know it is activated with the short beep it makes as well as the scan on notification that appears on the menu screen. This works inversely for turning the mode off. Just click the menu function below and scan off will appear. When scan mode is on, and another person from a talk group on your scan list tries to communicate with you, their channel and radio number will appear on screen. The scan list function ties into this by giving you the option to pick certain talk groups to put onto your list, which you will then be able to hear when scan mode is turned on. To select certain talk groups for this list, you will need to click Scan List with the menu function button. From there, you can select, delete, and with the RCL or recall button, you can view all channels on your scan list.
Clock displays the current time and date. A long press allows for editing. The phone function allows radio users to direct dial phone numbers using the keypad. The call feature, which we will review later, will allow you to call a radio. The contacts can be used to make calls as well. Similar to a cell phone, it allows the user to populate a contact list of radios and any phone numbers you may wish to have saved so you can call at a later time. MS1 to MS5 is one-touch channel select buttons, and these buttons are preset by the user. It can be personalized by each region, but the recommendation would be to keep it consistent across the region. We will now watch an OFC video reviewing how to preset MS1 to MS5.
The MS1 to MS5 functions act as channel shortcuts to frequently used talk groups. You would use the menu function buttons to select a certain preset, whether it be MS1 to 5, and once the selected talk groups are programmed into the radio, it will be easy one-touch access to get to it. To program a talk group into one of the MS functions, simply hold down whatever function select button is underneath the selected MS icon. Once this action is completed, you will hear a brief beep, and whatever talk group you are currently on will be preset to that function. Your department decides on what channels they want shortcut access to, so it is recommended that all radios by the same user agency are programmed to the same shortcuts.
Finally, location displays the current location, latitude, longitude, and time and date. It also allows 260 waypoints to be stored in and accessed by the radio user. At this time, location is not integrated into the CAD system with dispatch. Location can be utilized and provided over open air to dispatch for a location update. The request to talk, or RTT function, sends a digital signal to the designated dispatch console that the user wishes to make contact. The RTT button must be pressed followed by the PTT button in order for the RTT function to activate. We will now watch a video describing an RTT.
This purple button is the request to talk button. Once pressed, you'll be taken to a screen showing send status at the top with RTT below it. From there, you will have to just press the push to talk button and it will send an alert to dispatch or 911, letting them know you would like to communicate with them. Once the button is clicked, you will hear a 4-button tone, as well as see a notification show up on the menu screen showing ACK received.
Similar to the portable radio, the RTT button must be pressed followed by the PTT button in order for the RTT function to activate. The call function allows radio users to direct dial the 4 or 5-digit radio ID of another radio on the network for a private call. Calls may be used using the contacts list if populated by the user. We will now watch a video describing a call.
This button on the side here is the call button. Just click it once, and on the menu screen, you will be given the option to call the last number you called recently, a new number that you will have to type in manually with the keyboard, and click down one more time with the menu navigation buttons to view your radio ID. Any calls made out of this function will be private.
Similar to the portable radio, the call function allows the radio user to direct dial the 4 or 5-digit radio ID of another radio on the network for a private call. A short press on the Site Search and Signal Strength button shows the current tower site name, then receive signal strength. The RSSI range is 65 to 125. A long press forces the radio to search for a different site. We'll now watch another OFC video describing the Site Search and Signal Strength function.
This is the Signal Strength Site Search button. Press it once for a display at the bottom of the menu screen that will read the name of the signal, followed by the strength and RSSI number. Ideally, you should look for a signal between 65 and 125. The higher the numerical value of the signal strength, the better the signal will be. If the signal is not strong enough where you are, simply hold the Signal Strength Site Search button down and your radio will begin to search for a tower site with a stronger signal for that area.
Similar to the portable radios, a short press shows current tower site name, then the received signal strength. A long press forces the radio to search for a different site. We have our display, the on-off volume button, the channel select button, the emergency alert button, and again, the ABC slide and toggle is not programmable. We will now review the emergency alert. The emergency alert buttons will be enabled for the PSCS radios, both portable and mobile. Emergency alerts are an immediate way to request for assistance when field personnel experience a dangerous or violent situation. The portable radio is designed that if you slide your finger down the antenna, you'll end up at the emergency alert button. Due to the hot mic feature, a feature that is live or transmitting whatever you hear in your vicinity for 20 seconds, the emergency alert can be used when field personnel are unable to speak to dispatch or other radios as well. To initiate an emergency alert, press and hold the emergency button for 1 second to send an emergency alert. All other radios on your channel will display emergency received along with the radio ID of the radio which activated the alert button. Your radio will be hot mic for 20 seconds. The mic goes hot, meaning it is live or transmitting whatever you hear in your vicinity for 20 seconds. Your radio will not turn off when the button has been pressed, and no one else will be able to communicate on that talk group. After approximately 20 seconds, emergency will disappear from your screen, the hot mic will stop, and you will need to PTT or push to talk to transmit. The talk group will be available for others as well. To reset the emergency alert, press and hold the emergency button for 3 seconds until you hear a tone. To initiate an emergency alert on a mobile radio, press and hold the emergency button for 1 second to send an emergency alert. Again, all other radios on your channel will display emergency received along with the radio ID of the radio which activated the alert button. With a mobile radio, the radio will also be a hot mic for 20 seconds. Your radio will not turn off when the button has been pressed, and again, no one else will be able to communicate on that talk group either. After approximately 20 seconds, emergency will disappear from your screen and the hot mic will stop. You will need to PTT or push to talk to transmit. Just as with the portables, to reset the emergency alert, press and hold the emergency button for 3 seconds until you hear a tone. This video demonstrates how dispatch, or MTCC, receives the emergency alerts from either a portable or mobile radio. Once the emergency alert button is activated, MTCC receives a notification similar to an RTT. Again, there is no need to RTT or PTT after pressing the emergency alert button. The notification shows up red in the bottom left-hand corner. The talk group will also be highlighted in red as indicated in the top left-hand corner. If you have pressed the emergency alert button by accident, remain on the same talk group and wait for MTCC to acknowledge the alert. MTCC will be able to communicate after the 20 seconds of the hot mic. If you attempt to change zones or channels, the emergency alert will follow and be activated for each talk group as shown in the video. All portable and mobile radios will have access to the following zones and channels. East EMS will include former Interlake and Northeastman regions. There are more interagency channels available with the PSCS. Interagency 1 to 7 are available to police, fire, EMS, and are encrypted. Interagency 8 is available to other agencies, for example, a tow truck or grader, and not encrypted. North EMS will include former Northern, Burntwood, and Churchill regions. South EMS will include the former Central and Southeastman regions. West EMS will include the former Parkland and Assiniboine regions. Zone 5 will be EMO and utilized for major incidents. Channel 4, EMO simplex, will be similar to what is utilized today for MIMO simplex. The transition from the fleet system to PSCS will be staggered throughout the province, including the EMS and hospital radios. The first day of the PSCS transition is Monday, October 26th. So what does this mean? It means that MTCC will be using the new PSCS radio consoles, and all comms after October 26th are expected to be over the PSCS radios. The transition will be staggered with EMS and hospital radios. During this transition phase, the old fleet talk groups will be bridged with the new PSCS talk groups. This means that MTCC will still be able to receive transmissions from fleet radios. The audio will be bridged, but the RTTs will not. If you RTT from a fleet radio, MTCC may be delayed in responding to it. During this transition phase, when the hospital radios are being switched over, they will be unavailable for a short period of time. This means that EMS may have to call the hospital directly through the ERS on-site contact or request MTCC to notify the hospital. Shown are the proper and improper ways to make a transmission with your radio. PSCS radios use ambient noise canceling mics to reduce background noise for a clear transmission. When you long arm the mic, your voice becomes secondary noise and is reduced or canceled completely. Hold the mic 1 to 2 inches from your mouth and speak in your normal voice and rhythm. There is no need to shout into the mic. This is a reminder of the proper method of using your radio to be efficient and professional. Listen to activity before you talk on the talk group. Think before you push to talk. Know what you want to say and how you will say it. Wait for the tone before speaking to avoid cutting off your message. Since communication is such an important tool, we want to ensure we are being understood effectively and efficiently. In order to do this, your radio communications should use plain language, be short, clear, and to the point. Niceties, please and thank you are implied and not required for radio transmissions. When confirming or answering a question, affirmative and negative should be used rather than yes or no. When speaking on the radio, a PTT or RTT, the first thing you will do after the initial notification will be identify the recipient. You'll then identify yourself. It's important to include your alphanumeric ID, the name, as well as the number. If you just indicate your number, it's not clear who is speaking, as there will be multiples of each unit number on that talk group. Finally, parrot radio transmissions. Parroting doesn't mean repeating everything you hear. It means summarizing and repeating the important information. It is important that both MTCC and field personnel parrot transmissions to ensure the correct unit and status has been heard. Difficult words or words of importance, which may sound similar to another word within a message, or individual letters may be expressed using the International Phonetic Alphabet. Thank you to all the contributors for this training.